Okay, let's start with static fluid. All the definition part is over in the first chapter of the fluid mechanics, capillarity and contact angle, etc. So they has been covered. They have been covered. Now we'll start with the static fluid. Chapter 2, chapter 3 and chapter 4 will all be a static fluid. Okay. In this chapter we will study Pascal law, all the manometers. Then in the second chapter we will read all the pressure applied by the static fluid. Okay. And in the fourth chapter we will study buoyancy. Okay. So these three chapters will constitute of a static fluid. Okay. So static fluid starts with Pascal law, which states that pressure at any point in the liquid is equal in all the directions. Okay. Means in any point in the liquid the pressure is same. Okay. Now pressure is a scalar quantity. Okay. Now in a static fluid, fluid pressure is always normal to the surface of contact. Okay. No shear stress, only normal stress. Okay. So shear stress is 0 here because fluid is static. There is no motion. So shear stress is not happening here. Now hydrostatic law. Okay. First we have said the Pascal law that pressure is same everywhere in the liquid. Now we have hydrostatic law which states that at any depth, okay, at any depth the pressure felt by the body would be the same. Okay. Means pressure increases as the depth increases. Okay. As we go from the free surface, as we go downwards, so as we go downwards h increases and the pressure increases. Okay. The pressure experienced by any dipped body inside a static fluid will be equal to rho gh. Okay. H is the height from the free surface. Okay. Rho is the density of the fluid, g is the gravity. Okay. So why this negative sign is there? Because in the Newtonian fluid that we do, so there we take the y value from the bottom side. Okay. We take the y value from the bottom side and here we are taking from the upside. Okay. So if you are taking this z value from bottom side, so as this z value is increasing, will keep on increasing, the pressure will be reducing. Okay. So as you increase, if as you go upwards from the bottom, the pressure would be decreasing. Okay. So this is negative sign. Okay. Dz is value from bottom to top. Okay. Dz, the z direction is from bottom to top. Okay. So dou p by dou z is equal to minus rho of g. Okay. So this is known as hydrostatic law. Okay. P is equal to rho gh or dou p by dou z or dou p by dou h, you can say. No, it not is h, it's z because z is from bottom and h is from upside. Okay. So this is the hydrostatic law. Okay. So pressure increases as dz decreases. Okay. Okay. Pressure increases and dz increases. Okay. Dz has been shown. Okay. Okay. Now the PGH, now the rho GH was the gauge pressure, not absolute pressure, because you have to add atmospheric pressure to that to get the absolute pressure. So 1 atmospheric pressure is equal to 101.325 kilopascal is equal to 760 millimeter of mercury. So if you are using a mercury barometer, So local barometer containing mercury will show 760 millimeter for 1 atmospheric pressure is equal to 101.325 kilopascal. Okay, it will be shown by a mercury local barometer as 760 millimeter. Okay, if you are using water, it will show 10.3 meter of water. Okay, in terms of pound per square inch, okay, it will be 14.7. okay, now we have a pressure value called 1 torr. So 1 torr is equal to 1 millimeter of mercury. Now absolute pressure, as we know, is atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure. Okay, what is the gauge pressure in that static fluid? This rho gh term. Okay, so rho gh term is the gauge pressure. Now statement once again for the hydrostatic law: rate of increase of pressure in vertical direction is equal to weight density of the liquid is equal to rho g is equal to gamma weight density. Okay, pressure head. So vertical height of free surface above any point in a fluid at rest, h. The h that has been shown in the first is called pressure head. Okay, so vertical height from the free surface from the free surface to that point in that fluid is known as pressure head. Okay, so h is equal to p by rho g. P is the gauge pressure. Okay, now barometer. So local atmospheric pressure is equal to barometric pressure. So this is the barometer. You have a manometric tube here, as I said before, that its diameter would be more than 6 millimeter, otherwise it will show capillarity effect. Okay, so manometric tubes are used having diameter more than 6 millimeter. So this is the manometer and it is filled with mercury. So it is an inverted mercury filled tube into a container which open to atmosphere. Now inside this is vacuum. Okay, you don't think that it is just inverted. No, it's not just an inverted tube. You have to make sure that the empty part is vacuum part. Okay, then only you can say that it's a barometer. Okay, so same depth from the free surface, same pressure. So atmospheric pressure is equal to pressure at B is equal to rho gh. Okay, rho is for mercury, g is for specific gravity, and h is the height. Okay, so as we have seen in the previous, if atmospheric pressure is 101.325 kilopascal, and you will put here the density of the mercury, that is 13.6 into 1000, and gravity 9.81, and then height will be 760 millimeter. Okay, so this is that you will get. Now mercury is used because it has high density and low vapor pressure. Okay, low vapor pressure is there, so it's not a volatile, and also mercury is having a high density. Okay, now we will have pitot tube. So pitot tube is used for measuring the velocity. Okay, and now you will say that it is a static fluid. How you are saying velocity? So okay, it's a manometer. When we are dealing with a static fluid, vacuum for the pitot tube, so we have to study this. So pitot tube measures the velocity of the fluid. Okay, so green is the fluid and red is the manometric fluid filled in the pitot tube. Okay, This is the difference in pressure. Both tubes will constitute Pi2 tube. Okay, you have to put these two tubes. Okay. Okay, so velocity of the liquid is equal to coefficient of velocity into 2gh. Okay, g is gravity, h is the height, h is the pressure head. Okay, so pressure head is computed using this gauge differential or differential in head. Okay, x value here we have. So x is equal to gauge differential or differential in head. Now from this x we will get the h value that we will require in that equation. So h is equal to x into a specific gravity of the manometric fluid by the specific gravity of the fluid minus 1. Okay, or in terms of density of the manometric fluid by the density of the fluid. Okay, minus 1. Okay, so you will get that pressure head. Now the pressure head is also, now the head that you will get here is the kinetic head. Okay, so a stagnant minus a static is equal to kinetic head. Okay, this has already been discussed in thermodynamics also, that when we are discussing the stagnation pressure and a static pressure, we have dealt with this, that kinetic head is equal to a stagnant head minus a static head. Okay, so this is h is equal to P stagnant. Doesn't confuse with the just pressure, it's not pressure. If it's pressure, then it's here it's kinetic pressure. Okay, but it's showing head, so it's pressure head of the stagnant pressure head minus a static pressure head is equal to kinetic head. Okay. Now if velocity of air is to be found using water, it's just a question. Okay, so that you are using water as a manometric head and as a manometric fluid, and you are about to find the velocity of air. So just put in terms of, in place of manometer you put the water value, and instead and in place of the air fluid you put the density of air, and you find the formula. Okay, nothing changed. Now differential manometer or U-tube manometer. Okay, inverted manometer is over, its differential manometer. Pi2 tube is also over. Okay, so differential manometer will give difference in pressure reading between 2 points in a pipe. Okay, or any channel. Okay, so this is the pipe and we want to check the pressure between 2 points. Okay, from here and here. So what would be the difference in the pressure? Okay, we are not only dealing with the static fluid here. Okay, we are dealing with flow here, so doesn't get confused here. So we started with the static fluid and we deal with few problems of the static fluid. Now we are dealing with flow, so it's okay. So differential manometer, U-tube manometer, is used for checking the pressure between two points in a pipe. So we are checking the difference in pressure between these points. Okay, we are applied the differential manometer here. So the difference in reading is shown by this value x, and once again that x or pressure difference head is used to find the h value. Okay, h value, so h value or pressure head is computed using this x value by a specific gravity of the manometric fluid by a specific gravity of the fluid minus 1, or in terms of density of the manometric fluid by density of the fluid in the pipe. So green one is the rho and blue one is the rho m manometric fluid, and this is minus 1. Okay, so delta p is equal to rho gh. Okay, rho is of the fluid. Okay, now inclined manometer. So inclined manometer will also be dealt in this section. So in that we will see that we will deal inclined manometer will be coming also. So here we will deal with piezometer. Okay, so this is piezometer. So piezometer does not mean to have these three limbs. I am showing that you can have either three limbs or one limb, it doesn't matter, all will show the same reading. Okay, whether you put any pipe, any limb, so all limb will show the same value. Okay, so this is the pipe. Okay, and you are attaching tubes, manometric tubes here or here or here. Okay, so all will give the same value. Okay, and piezometer also has an advantage that in piezometer we don't have any other manometric fluid. Okay, we just use the fluid in the pipe. Okay, so it's simply a glass tube in which manometric fluid is same as that of the pipe. Okay, of which the pressure has to be found. So this is the H and pressure will be rho gh. Okay, so pressure at A, we always have to compute this center line. Okay, you have to check, always draw a center line. From that center line we will compute the pressure. Okay, so pressure at point A is equal to rho gh. Okay, pressure at the center of the pipe. Okay, gauge pressure, this is gauge pressure. Okay, if we add atmospheric pressure into that, then it will become absolute pressure. So don't confuse absolute pressure and gauge pressure. Okay, so this is the gauge pressure, means access pressure. So once again, whenever the pipe is given, you draw a line from a center line. Okay, you have to compute pressure from this center line. Also, whenever you have different fluids, so whenever you have different fluids, so at any point that liquid, that fluid has a limit. Okay, so you draw a line from that point. Okay, we will deal in the further questions, we will see that. So first draw a line from the center line and then line from wherever the liquid starts or stops. Okay, so here the green liquid stops at this point, so we draw a line, and this blue liquid has a stop from this point, so we have draw a blue line here. So, okay, also you should know that pressure in the opposite limbs cancel each other, so we don't have to deal with the same level. Okay, if you are having the same fluid at the same level in the opposite limbs, you don't have to worry about those pressure. Okay, so we are not worrying about this pressure. Okay, now we are dealing with only H1. Okay, and here H2. So, okay, we draw this line. Now So here we are saying that PA minus rho 1, okay, this green one is rho 1, okay, and this blue one is rho 2, okay, this is the density of this fluid, and green one having the density of rho 1, okay. Now from the Pascal's law we know that pressure at any point, okay, at the same level is having the same pressure, okay. So this is the point, so pressure will be same at this level. So here we are having pressure of P A minus rho G H1, because this is acting downwards, okay, this fluid is acting downwards, so PA is pumping here and rho G H1 is acting downwards, okay. So we have PA minus rho 1 G H1 is equal to, here the pressure is coming at the same point, at here we are having pressure rho 1 GH1, at the same level we are having this pressure rho 2 GH2, okay, at the same level we are just taking the pressure, okay. So PA minus rho 1 GH1 is equal to rho 2 GH2, okay. So you will get the pressure at A at that point, okay, or you can get the pressure of the pipe using this equation. So same liquid at same levels cancel out, okay. So here the liquid levels at the same level will cancel out the air pressure. Similarly, now PA is the gauge pressure, as mentioned already, that always will be gauge pressure. If you add atmospheric pressure into that, then it will become at absolute pressure. Now manometric fluid has higher specific gravity than that of the measuring fluid. It's a thing you have to remember, that manometric fluid always have more density than that of the measuring fluid. Now this is single column manometer, okay. So in single column manometer you have just this large area, okay, and pressure difference in this large area will get compensated by the rise and fall of the manometric fluid, okay. So here we having h1 height of that fluid, okay, h2 height of this manometric, and delta h height that has been changed, okay. Okay, so area of this whole rectangle, okay, it's not a rectangle, it's a rectangular or whatever shape it has, whatever the container shape is it, okay. So this area of this container into area of this pipe, a small one is the area of cross section of this pipe, while greater capital A is the area of cross section of this bigger, okay. So delta a into delta h, okay, change in height is equal to a into h2, okay. This height has been achieved by the change of delta h distance, okay. Now finding the pressure value at this point, P, gauge pressure. So gauge pressure is equal to P plus rho 1 G H1 plus delta H is equal to same rho 2 G H2 plus delta H, okay. Same height, same pressure. Once again, this is the inverted U tube manometer, okay. Now we are using it to compute pressure at two different points, okay. You will get more clarification using this doubt of your doubt Using this you will get more clarified of all the doubts. So we are having two fluids here, okay, more than two. We are also having air also. So this white portion is the air, this is water, and this is oil. Okay, oil is having a specific gravity of 0.8, water has a specific gravity 1, okay, and air has a density of 1.16 or 1.125. So here we are taking 1.16. Okay, this is the height given, okay, respectively. So as I have said, wherever you have center line, first draw a line. Whenever you have a given any pipe, so first draw a center line. So we have drawn a center line from A, we have drawn a center line from B. Now whenever you have liquid levels filled, so at each liquid level you draw a line. So we have drawn line here, we have drawn a line here. Okay. Now at whichever the points we will see easier to find the pressure, because at same level same pressure is there. So whichever point we will find out easier to compute, we will take the pressure reading at there. Okay, so we are taking it here. So PA, this is PA minus 800, because the specific gravity is 0.8, means density will be 800 into G, 9.81 meter per second square, into 0.2. okay, so this height is 0.2 and this is acting downwards. Okay, minus 1.16. okay, this is the density of air. Okay, so this is density of air into 9.81 into this height is 1.8. okay, so 1.8, and at the same point we have PB. okay, so pressure exerted at from this. okay, so PB minus this whole is water, so 1.8, 0.2 plus 0.1 is equal to 2.1. so PB minus 1000, okay, density of water into specific gravity 9.81 meter per second square, and 2.1 is the height here. So at this point we have checked the pressure here. Okay, so you have computed PA and PB here, so you can get the pressure difference PA minus PB from this equation. Okay, okay, so it may be from the same pipe or it may be from a different pipe, it doesn't matter. U2 manometer can be applied. In this question it was different pipe. So here we are seeing that both the points are from the same pipe. Okay, same fluid is here. Now we are checking pressure at point A and point B. So at same level same pressure is there, so PA plus, it's acting downwards. Okay, so PA plus rho 1 into G into H. Okay, this height is H, is equal to PB plus this is rho 2. Okay, this red one is rho 2, rho 2 into G into H. Okay, same height same pressure. Now there are two types of question. Okay, this question will be done in two questions. This topic will be done in two questions. Okay, so first is it's a normal YouTube manometer. Okay, and we are saying here that this is the manometer and we are adding 19 centimeter cube of water, then the difference in mercury levels will be what? So initially there was only mercury in the YouTube manometer, then you added this volume of water into this manometer. Okay, the diameter of the manometer is 8 millimeter. So what will the change in the mercury levels? Okay, initially in both limbs mercury will be having the same level. Okay, but yet once you pour the water, the mercury level will get deteriorated. Okay, so how much change in the mercury level will be there in the final? So this will be found using this equation. Okay, so 19 centimeter cube is equal to pi 0.8 into h1. Okay, area into height. Okay, so this is volume, 19 centimeter cube is the volume. So h1 is got from here, that this is one height, this one height of the water is poured in. Okay, now balancing left and right limbs pressure. Okay, so rho of water into g into h1 is equal to rho g into delta h. Okay, change in pressure of the uh, mercury column. Okay, so delta h would be here. Okay, now difference in mercury columns is equal to 2 delta h. Okay, so rise and fall of mercury columns is equal to delta h. Okay, so there is a bit confusion here, that you may not be getting this what I am saying. So this is the thing that happens. Okay, you just try to remember this, that these things happen because it a question asked in GATE. Okay, even I was confused that how to clarify this question. So in the next question you will get more clarification. Okay, first of all just remember this, that difference in mercury columns is 2 delta h, that you got from this equation, and rise or fall of mercury column is equal to delta h. Okay, now further get clarified in this question. Okay, of the inclined manometer. Okay, so this one is the inclined manometer, and the same thing happens here. Okay, that initially only manometer was filled in the tube and you add additional volume of water. Okay, so balancing pressure in both limbs. Okay, so once you add water into this, so this height will go up. Okay, this height will go up, so rho g x plus delta x is equal to, and some manometric fluid will get dripped. Okay, some will get decreased in height, so rho g l minus delta x. Okay, this has gone up delta x and this has gone less delta x. Okay, so rho g x plus delta x is equal to rho g l minus delta x. Okay, and this is sine theta value. Okay, because this is an inclined value, so we are having sine theta, because sine theta would be this height. Okay, so L minus delta x sine theta is the this height, because we are concerned with vertical height. No, inclined height doesn't matter, gravity is acting just downwards in the perpendicular direction, so this pressure will be acting in the downward direction, so we don't deal with the inclined height, we deal with the only vertical heights. Okay, so rho g x plus delta x is equal to rho g L minus delta x into sine theta. Okay, is plus rho w means density of water into gravity into h sine theta. Okay, this h will be filled, this height h will be filled, and we are taking only vertical here, so h sine theta. Okay, okay, now the increase or decrease in mercury column level. So delta x has been moved up. Okay, from in this column delta x has been moved up. Also in this column delta x has been moved down. Okay, means delta x theta sine theta. Okay, so delta x sine theta has been gone down and x has been moved up. So change in limbs height will be delta x plus delta x sine theta. Okay, so in that previous question you can also do the same thing and you get further clarified. Now sensitivity of the inclined manometer is equal to 1 by sine theta, the inclined manometer that we have seen here. So in the inclined manometer, sensitivity of a inclined manometer is equal to 1 by sine theta is equal to L by X is equal to cosec theta. Okay, 1 by sine theta is nothing but cosec theta. And sensitivity of single column manometer that we have seen is equal to larger area by a smaller area, and sensitivity is inversely proportional to error. Okay, so if you are asked what is the error, you have to say small area by bigger area, and if you are asked about the inclined manometer it will be sine theta. Now gravity and pressure forces influence the problems in fluid statics. Okay, because we have been computing delta P is equal to rho gh. So in fluid statics we are concerned with pressure forces and gravity forces. Now U-tube manometers directly measure dynamic and static head. Okay, so dynamic head is the total equivalent height that a fluid is to be pumped. Okay, taking into consideration of the frictional losses. Okay, so frictional power you have to add in that. So total dynamic head is equal to static head plus static lift plus frictional loss. Okay, so static head is the maximum height reached after pump. You get further clarified about these things. If you want to study more about this, you can study. Okay, so thank you.